Hello everyone, welcome to our video tutorial about number formats. In this tutorial, you will learn how to use the number formats to control the display of cells or the cell values that contain numeric data in your worksheet. So such cell values may include the cells containing dates, currents, percentages, and anything that can be expressed as number. And to follow this tutorial, you have to make sure you type in some data in your worksheet, and that data should contain some numeric values like the one you see on my screen. We may want to format these cell values into maybe the dollars, so that they indicate to us that what we have in these cells are not necessarily numbers but dollars. So how do we do it? So all that takes us to the question of number formats. Therefore, to insert the dollar sign in these cells that we are having under the columns of amount total and already paid, what we shall do is to select these two columns containing the numeric data that we want to format. To do that, we are going to left click in cell C2. So we click, hold, and then move to that column of D after we select the two columns up to our last cell down here. So after making this selection, our next move is now to insert that dollar sign. So the dollar sign is found under the home tab and in the number group. So this is the dollar sign. So we are going to insert it by simply left clicking on it once. So when we left click on it once, we can now see we have the dollar signs in our cells that we wanted to insert this sign. Still, another observation we can see on our cells now is that there are some other two decimal places that have been added to our cells, as we can see. So to remove that, we shall still go back under the home tab, but in the number group. We use these two options, but to remove these decimal places, we shall use this one of decrease decimal. So we click. So when you click once, you see the decimal place is now 1, and even on this one, 1. So we click once more to totally remove these decimal places. So when you click on it, now we have our values, but now the decimal places have been removed. Now that the decimal places have been removed from our values, we can click aside within our worksheet. That's how we insert the dollar sign in the cells that we may want to format. And if you would like to remove these dollar signs from your cells or from the contents that you have in your worksheet, what we do is to select once again all these cells. To do that, we are going to left click, hold, then move the cell selector to select all the cells we would like to format. After doing that, we shall go to the option where we see custom. Then we click on this arrow pointing down. We call it the more arrow option. After clicking, we shall select this first option for general. We click once. So when you click once, you can see now the dollar signs have been removed. So that's how we can insert the dollar sign and remove the dollar sign from our cells that we may want to format in the worksheet. So we can click aside to remove that selection. How about if we want now to format these cells with Uganda shillings? What we shall do is to select the cells we want to format by clicking, hold, then move the cell selector to select those cells. After selecting, we shall go under the number group still in the Home tab. We have three options. The first one, we can use this arrow, the more option arrow near this dollar sign. So we click once. After clicking, we shall move up to the more accounting formats. So we click more accounting formats. When you click on it, this dialog box will be displayed for you. Then our target is to insert a symbol, so we shall go under symbol, but in this category of accounting. Even when you go to currency, if we can click once, still we can use this option for symbol. Then now we shall click on this arrow to look for Uganda shillings. To look for Uganda shillings, we can now scroll using this scroll bar. But to do it faster, inside this cell, we shall click there and just on our keyboard, press on letter U. So when you press on letter U, we are now taken down here where we shall look for Uganda shillings, and here is our Uganda shillings. So we shall select on it once. When you select on it, our next option now is to click on OK, because we would like to format these cells with this symbol for Uganda shillings. So we click OK. Just like when we inserted the dollar sign, we saw the decimal places automatically inserted into our values. So if we don't need these decimal places, what we do, we shall leave our cells selected as we can see. Then we use this decrease decimal button to remove those decimal places. We shall click twice. After clicking twice, the decimal places have now been removed, and we can see our cells now formatted with Uganda shillings. Now we can click in the worksheet to remove this selection. I would like us to note something unique with the formatted cells. Formatted cells always show only the values in the formula bar, but they will not always display for you these signs. So to prove that, we can click in any of the cells that we formatted. Now when we have a look at our formula bar, you realize that our formula bar is only showing to us the value which is in cell C8, but not including this symbol of Uganda shillings. So if these cells were just typed in manually, including these symbols of Uganda shillings, then inside our formula bar we would also see UGX or UGX in all of these cells. To prove that, let's just type around this cell, and we are going to put UGX, and then we type 200 shillings. Press the enter key. Now, when you type UGX manually, you see first of all, this is showing you it is text, because in our previous tutorial we said by default text will always be aligned to the left, while the numbers will always be aligned to the right. Just like we can see our formatted cells. They are showing us their numbers because they are aligned to the right. And this one is showing us it is text because it is aligned to the left. When we select it and look at our formula bar, we shall also see UGX added there plus the value. So this is an indication that it is a typed in symbol or sign of UGX. Therefore, if we try to continue performing calculation with a cell that we manually indicated or typed in the currency sign, we shall always receive the error values. Calculations will not always be possible. But when you just format like we have done in these two columns, you will not receive any errors because these are the number formats that are predefined within the Excel program. So if we would like to remove these Uganda shillings, we shall select all the cells that we formatted. Then we go under the number group, we click and we call it general. So when you give it general, the signs for UGX will be removed. Hope you found this video tutorial important to you. That's it for now. See you in our next tutorial.